jump in. Talk to the Pam and the fire sprinkler person again or whatever, and I told him, I was like, hey man, like I need. He was just like, well, we're waiting for the city to try to figure this out because he was like, I feel that whatever you're doing, like we don't need to do all that. And I was like, I get it. I said, but we need to have something to move forward. I was like, you're like, this is our blocker. Like we can't move forward. We can't get permits. We can't do anything without this. He goes, oh, well, I didn't know that. I thought we were just waiting to spec stuff out. I was like, no. So he was like, okay. He was like, he's in some training the rest of the day. He was like, I will give you some answer by the end of the day on what we can do. Cause I guess the person that typically does that sort of thing, hey, Tater Dom is out, or not out, but is backed
On
up by a
vacation.
month. No, they're backed up by a month.
Oh
So
God.
yeah, that's what I was like. Well, that's not good. So that's why I said we need to get on it. But there you go. That's the latest.
So we're a month from them, and then another
Well,
60 days.
I hope not. We'll see what he says at the end of this, because the other option is that we get a different sprinkler contractor to get in there and do the flow tests and do all that other kind of stuff. So
Just nobody knows what they need,
well,
except
that's exactly what it is. He was
except the
because he was
sprinkler
like,
contractor that
yeah. He
was.
goes, I'm still waiting on the city to tell me what we need, and I was like, well, good luck, because that's not going to happen. They don't know what they need.
All right,
All right, ready to get going?
where you going?
All right. It's This Week in Bourbon, and happy belated Bourbon Day. And here's your headlines for June 16th, 2023. The U.S. Supreme Court sides with Jack Daniels in the new. I'm going to just start that over. It was messed up in there. All right. It's This Week in Bourbon, and happy belated Bourbon Day. And here's your headlines for June 16th, 2023. The U.S. Supreme Court sides with Jack Daniels in the dog toy dispute. There's a new whiskey document. Oh, fucking shit. Let me start over. I can't talk. This is going to be a bad one. All right, here we go. It's This Week in Bourbon, and happy belated Bourbon Day. And here's your headlines for June 16th, 2023. The U.S. Supreme Court sides with Jack Daniels in the talk. Oh, fucking shit. Oh, my God.
Quit stopping.
Oh,
Just keep going.
Tug toy. Dog toy. All right. One more drink of water. Here we go. People on chat are getting a show right now. All right, here we go. It's This Week in Bourbon, and happy belated Bourbon Day. And here's your headlines for June 16th, 2023. The U.S. Supreme Court sides with Jack Daniels in the dog toy dispute. There's a new whiskey documentary, and it's now available, called Fire, Water, and Grain, The Story of Empire Rye. And Buffalo Trace launches Daniel Weller, an experimental line and exploring different strains of wheat. But before we get started, here's a quick word from our partners. Hey, everybody. Happy belated Bourbon Day. Even though when we're recording this, it is Bourbon Day, National Bourbon Day. I guess there's a holiday for everything, though.
Yeah, it's probably like National Vodka Day on Thursday before. So I don't know. It's like always something. But
I mean, I honestly
happy
think there is.
belated Bourbon Day. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there is an old-fashioned day. So they're literally making something for everybody.
Yeah. I
It all
remember.
started with Valentine's Day.
Yeah, and like a lot. Yeah, I know. We always need holidays to stimulate the economy. Just always have something to buy something.
You're very, very true. I mean, I'm very bad about this because if you've noticed, I think pretty much everybody on Instagram plus every brand that's out there, they've had some sort of National Bourbon Day post. Yet I haven't done a single one because I can't stay ahead of this stuff.
I felt like we already had like a National Whiskey Day or something already this year, but I don't know. Or May in like something in May, like important, like when bourbon became a Congress category or something. I don't know. I feel like there's always something.
Yeah, we should probably know that. The same thing with Bottled and Bond Day and all that sort of stuff. It's in my calendar. I do put it in my calendar. So from the lack of not being prepared, I did have it in there, and I did see it was National Bourbon Day. But we've got 42 million things going on, and so therefore I didn't create a post.
Well, September's more easily to remember because it's a whole month. It's like Bourbon Heritage
It's
Month,
true.
so
It's true.
so that's much easier for us
Yeah.
to
Well, why
remember.
do we need a whole? Why do we need a day in the middle of June when we've got a whole month for
Yeah, and then you follow it up with Repeal Day in December. We got
it?
opportunities.
See,
We
there we
got
go.
plenty of opportunities to celebrate. Or how about it's just Saturday and I want to drink bourbon?
Go ahead. I'll go ahead and put that in the calendar too.
That's right.
So let's talk about some upcoming stuff. I know there is that the emails have been going out. The tickets are starting to sell. And Ryan, talk about the Bardstown Bourbon Dinner because there's a special collaboration release that's coming out. I think we should probably go ahead and drop the bomb now.
Yeah, super excited about this, and this will kind of give people an idea how long things take in this industry because Dan Calloway and I did this project exactly like 1 year ago to the date, and it took a year for our blend to that we worked together on, put together, and now it's finally coming out. I'm super excited. Bardstown Bourbon Company is going to be hosting a distilled dinner series where they're going to be revealing the collaboration I did with Dan, and then also their Discovery 10, and then the gosh, what is the Chateau? Something fancier than mine.
Chateau Doisy Dane, maybe is how you say it.
Doisy Dane, yeah, that sounds fancier than blend with Ryan Cecil. But I promise the flavor of ours will just be as good. But yeah, I'm really excited. This was a fun one. Picked a lot of interesting flavors. Dane and I did this together. Did a lot of this blind. We had the whole library of Bardstown Bourbon Company's whiskey portfolio, which was fun to taste through and put together. So I think this dinner will be awesome. Chef Stu's a great chef. Gonna have some cool pairings and whatnot. So if you're interested, check out Bardstown Bourbon Company's Instagram page. I think in their story, not their story, their uh, account, they have a link in the bio or whatever they people say, link in bio. and
Yep. You
and
can
then
go there, or you can go to Eventbrite and search for it. It's just called the Distilled Dinner Series. This is going to be happening on Thursday, June 29th at 6:30 p.m. And I believe, Ryan, you'll be there in person as well, won't you?
I will. Yes, I will be there so I can answer any questions, talk about the process that we went through and whatnot. So yeah, it should be a fun night. And unfortunately, you can't make it because you will be in Frankfurt, right?
I will be. I'll be doing my own Frankfurt Bourbon Society presentation that'll be happening on that. So thank you for queuing that one up. But I'm also let's give people some visualization about what it looks like because I'm looking at it right now, and I know I've seen the bottle in person and tasted it as well. But it is Bardstown Bourbon Company. It has our name underneath on the front label, but on the back behind the glass, when you're looking through it, you can actually see our logo. So it's actually a pretty cool package design as well.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. And I think you said when the bottle came, you go, I don't think I ever gave him permission to use our logo. And I was like, King, it's a collaboration with us. What are you? I know you were kidding, but yeah, this is
I didn't sign
super.
off on this. Yeah,
I
that's
know.
good.
It's super exciting for us, and can't be grateful enough to the team there at Bardstown. We've done a lot of things together here, in the past few years. So it's just really, I can't be grateful enough for the opportunity to work with Dan and the team there, and they've been great to us. So hopefully people enjoy this expression and have fun at the dinner, and I think you will. So yeah, that's
For
all I got.
sure. Other updates to kind of talk about is that if you're looking to try some of our Pursuit Spirits stuff, and of course most notably Pursuit United, we are going to have our Colorado ambassadors in Denver that'll be at the Whiskey and Donut Festival. That'll be on June 17th. So if you're looking for something to do this weekend, I mean, that's the coolest whiskey festival I've ever heard of pairing donuts and whiskeys together. So make sure you go and check that out. And then on moving into July, so July 8th, there'll be Whiskeys of the World in Nashville. So we'll have our team there as well. And the only one I'll put even further out in July that if you happen to be in the San Antonio area and you also happen to be a package retailer in the state of Texas, I will be at the Texas Package Stores Association trade show that'll be happening on Sunday, July 30th.
Wow, good jam packed. It just seems like it. Summer's supposed to be a slow time, bourbon. Not for us though.
The marketing never ends, my friend.
It never stops. Every day feels like a race, and just never catch up.
And that was funny. I was actually going and I got my hair cut today, but on the way there, I'm
It does
sitting
look
here.
good.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's people in the listening world can't see it, but I was on the way there, and you sit down with the person who does your hair. You end up just talking and talking and talking. I just was kind of thinking of like, all right, what's gonna happen? And the whole time I'm thinking to myself was, man, I'm tired. I want some free time back into myself, but I know we've got like 3 more years of this of just kicking our butts for every single week until hopefully it starts trending everything in the right direction.
Yeah, there's not enough vacation time to recover from the bourbon industry.
That's
Because even,
true.
even on vacation, it just keeps on going.
Yep. And it keeps piling up. That's how it works.
That's right.
All right, let's go ahead and start diving into the news. Enough about us and our woes. Everything's going great. I don't want to say it's not. We're having a great time doing this, but of course, make sure you go check out pursuitspirits.com if you want to help support a small little dream of some podcasters going into bourbon full time. Would really appreciate it.
Yeah, I think Kenny's just tired. So am I coming off Pursuit Palooza. So I want to give a shout out to everyone that down. It was a great event, epic weekend. 100 around 110 ish folks came and partied and left. So it was awesome.
Yeah, I'm glad you said something. I totally forgot to say something about that as well. I'm about 90 to 95% recovered. I I know I think tomorrow I'll be recovered because maybe I can get up and work out, but every day I've woken up at 7:30 just going, "Oh, I can't move. I don't want to get out of bed."
Snooze button, snooze fest.
Exactly. Yeah, it was a fantastic weekend, jam packed with stuff, and I'm sure if you saw our Instagram, you would have seen why. So
Yep.
let's talk bourbon news. So Ken Lewis of New Riff has announced his upcoming retirement, and this was in American Whiskey Magazine. And if you want to learn more about Ken, his story, and everything like that, go back and listen to the episode he was on with Bourbon Pursuit on episode 223. It was one of the most enlightening and like down to earth discussions I'd had in a long time. But before looking at where New Riff is going, it's important to understand where it's been and to celebrate Lewis's achievements. His spirited story began back in 1972 when he operated a traditional small liquor store, and it was there that he learned the basics of the business while also gaining what he deemed as, quote, a street degree in people studies. Mimicking the style of the big box stores at the time, Lewis opened liquor outlet in a different part of Louisville, Kentucky. He would try to buy only, quote, on deal products and took approximately half the normal industry markup, effectively creating Kentucky's first discount liquor store. And Lewis explains, I saw an opportunity in northern Kentucky, immediately adjacent to Cincinnati, since at the time, Ohio still had state stores known for being high priced with little selection, as well as indifferent state employees, low service levels, and a throwback to the bad old days of lazy, unpleasant liquor retailing. He said, I went all in, built a 50,000 square foot beautiful store on the border with Ohio at the first interstate exit, and maxed out my concept, changing the name from Liquor Outlets to the Party Source. In the years that have followed, Lewis continued to work through the legislature, along with Kentucky Distillers Association, to modernize laws that govern the industry and, in turn, improve bourbon tourism for everyone's benefit. And when it comes to his leadership style at his latest venture of New Riff Distillery, this is something Lewis has honed into a fine craft over the years. He keeps it down to a few simple concepts: hire the best people, give them a clear mission, provide them with the best tools, and then get out of their way. So, what's in store for New Riff now that he's stepping down? Well, positive company culture and retaining it is clearly a driving factor for him and the new leadership at New Riff. He says that, quote, I'm an entrepreneur and I think there's something different in skill sets that need to take it forward for the next 20 years or so. My daughter's in the business and we have two other employees who are the current and have been with us a long time, and one of them is an original employee. So going forward, Molly Lewis will be the incoming president and is currently the sales director for New Riff Distilling.
Man, that's awesome. He's as you said, great guy, brilliant mindset. I love those core values he was just saying. That was I totally agree with his methodology in business. That's he's in the Party Source. I mean, that place is awesome. That's what a cool concept. If you've ever been there, it's like on a Saturday. I mean, it's like people come from all over to just see that place. It's a fascinating sight for sure.
Yeah, you had one of the best tastings ever of all time there. You sold like 40 bottles or something like that.
Yeah, it was wild, man. It was. I felt like cool that day. Yeah, it was insane how many people come through that store on a weekend. It's really nice.
Yeah, but make sure you go and check out that old podcast. There was more of an in-depth about how he basically took the party source, turned it into a profit-sharing center between the employees, so they had stake into it. Then he kind of took his money that he had built off of it, and then because he had bought all those MGP barrels over time, launched OKI, and then sold off OKI, and then all this other kind of stuff, and that's really where New Riff began. And now he's got something that he can again just continue down this path of handing things to the family. I guess that's the best way to say it.
Yeah, everything he's built is turned gold. So I mean, can he come consult for us or something?
Yeah. Well, they just said the core principles is about hire the best people, give them the tools, and get out of their way. But we have to have money to hire people. That's part one we're missing.
Yeah, can you co-sign for us? No, I'm kidding. But no, incredible tenure and everything he's done, and I'm sure it's in good hands with Molly. She seems, very sharp and knows what she's doing in the industry. So excited for the future of New Riff. What they've done in just a short amount of time has been nothing short of incredible. So hopefully it
Absolutely.
continues on.
Yep. Well, congratulations on your retirement, Ken. Hopefully you hear this, and we're wishing you all the best.
Yep.
So the U.S. Supreme Court on Thursday, I say last Thursday, they gave a boost to Jack Daniels in its trademark dispute with a dog accessory company that sold a parody chew toy resembling the distiller's widely recognized black label whiskey bottle. The 9-0 decision, authored by liberal Justice Elena Kagan, threw out a lower court's ruling that the pun-laden Bad Spaniels vinyl chew toy sold by VIP Products is, quote, an expressive work protected by the U.S. Constitution's First Amendment. This dispute pitted the whiskey brand's trademark rights against legal protections for creative expression. And in this case, a send-up by Phoenix-based VIP Products of Jack Daniel's Old No. 7 Tennessee whiskey bottle, featuring chemical dog poop-themed changes like a label reading, "The Old No. 2 on your Tennessee carpet." The lower courts had ruled in favor of VIP Products after applying what's called the Rogers test, which has allowed artists to lawfully use another's trademark when doing so when it has artistic relevance to their work and would not explicitly mislead consumers about its source. The test was crafted in a 1989 decision by the New York-based Second U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in a case brought by Hollywood legend Ginger Rogers. The actress unsuccessfully sued to block the 1986 film Ginger and Fred from director Federico Fellini that referred to her famed dance partnership with actor Fred Astaire. Kagan wrote that the Ninth Circuit erred in applying the Rogers test in this case, concluding that, quote, it is not appropriate when the accused infringer has used a trademark to designate the source of its own goods. In other words, it was used as a trademark. That kind of use falls within the heartland of trademark law and does not receive special First Amendment protection.
Wow. Well, sorry, dog toys.
I guess that just goes to show you that it's not Sazerac that'll come and sue you. But I don't know. You look at this and it's kind of like, oh, it's fun, it's playful. But I don't know about you, Ryan. I've gone to other, I guess you could say like puppy paloozas that have been around here in Louisville, where you kind of go and people bring their dogs and there's little merchants and all this other kind of stuff. And I have seen other kind of like, quote, like ripoffs of bourbon brands.
Yeah,
that are
I think I've
in
seen Maker's one.
Oh yeah, they're all over the place. So I guess
I
it
guess
goes
they
to
don't
show
say
you that
number 2 on your Tennessee carpet.
probably
funny.
not. It was. I guess the other one's a little bit more. I wouldn't say high class, but they're definitely not to that degree.
Yeah, I'm sure. I bet that has something to do with it. Just like the taste of it, just kind of like that seems untasteful and doesn't represent the brand well. Whereas if it was just like a Jack Daniel's toy, I don't know, maybe they wouldn't care as much. But maybe they would. I don't know.
I guess Jack Daniel's it's also the cash cow, so you kind of want to protect that one.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's Brown Forman's #1 product, so you got to protect it.
Mm-hmm.
I understand.
Totally. So Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin, he signed a law to keep traditional soft drinks separate from new alcohol containing crossover beverages on store shelves. So this new restriction was prompted by disruption in the alcohol beverage market, as brands including Coke, Pepsi, and most recently Sunny D rolled out products containing alcohol. In some cases, the new boozy beverages, such as, say, Hard Mountain Dew, have been placed next to their traditional non-alcoholic counterparts on store shelves triggering concerns about consumer confusion and competitive advantage. Under the law signed Wednesday, distributors will have to ensure that alcoholic and non alcoholic products that share similar names, logos, or packaging don't sit immediately adjacent to each other in stores. The law also requires that in store displays of these new drinks are accompanied by clear signage alerting shoppers that they contain alcohol. The measures were backed by Anheuser-Busch, Molson Coors, and the Virginia Beer Wholesalers Association. The industry has viewed soft drinks swerve into alcohol lane with wariness.
Yeah, I'm kind of on board with this one because I was in somewhere the other day and I saw the Sunny D one and I was like, man, it just looks like a canned Sunny D, and like, it doesn't really like scream spiked with vodka or whatever. It was just kind of looked like a canned Sunny D. So I think this is probably a good move because
You
I
know
could
the
see
one,
where I haven't seen the Mountain Dew ones, but
right? Yeah, the Sunny D one, that kind of for me, it hit the nostalgia button
oh
because
yeah.
of Sunny D. But there was somebody on TikTok that opened one up and poured it out. Do you know it's clear?
Oh really?
Yeah, all it
Oh,
is
that's a
is
bummer.
it's just what is it, malt or vodka, whatever it is, and it's just orange flavoring that goes into it. It's not even
Mm.
actual Sunny D.
Well, Sunny D is probably not even orange juice either. It's just
Probably
colored,
not.
it's just colored orange. So it's all relative. It's probably the Sunny D in its purest form without the color, and then they just add vodka in it.
Yes, exactly. So it I like what you said there. It is in its purest form. But no, you're right. This is something that is probably good for consumer confusion because as these other big drinks companies are entering the alcohol beverage market, that they could essentially confuse not only just people like you and I, but as well as kids
Yeah,
and
minors,
other people.
teenagers, whatever.
Exactly. And you have that likeness. I mean, they have those are like Coke and Pepsi. Those are globally recognized names that are known by our kids. And so you've got to do something that protects them and make sure you keep that delineation.
I can see high schoolers and I promise, officer, I thought it was regular Mountain Dew, regular Sunny D. I didn't know it had vodka in it.
Crushing
It
cans of Sunny D.
tastes just like doing the Dew, Code Red.
And from our last story we just did, Kyle in the chat says, I've seen a Puppy Van Tinkle toy before.
Oh
Yes.
boy, that's pretty good.
Yep. So I've seen him before.
They don't make chicken dog toys or chew toys, so I'm gonna maybe that's the next wave.
You can go for it. There's room for innovation, Ryan.
That's right.
So the Ballast brothers, they are working in partnership with Film Hub and are delighted to announce the upcoming release of their highly anticipated documentary, Fire, Water, and Grain: The Story of Empire Rye. And this is across a diverse range of channels and platforms that'll be released. So get ready to raise your glasses and embark on a captivating journey into the world of Empire Rye whiskey as the film launches on June 14th, 2023. It'll be on Amazon Prime, Apple TV, and Tubi TV, with more coming soon. You can indulge your senses as Fire, Water, and Grain transports viewers into the heart of Empire Rye's historical production process. The Ballast brothers have expertly crafted a visually stunning masterpiece, offering a whiskey journey that tantalizes the taste buds and ignites the imagination. Prepare to be captivated by the beauty that unfolds on screen, as every frame pays homage to the artistry and passion behind Empire Rye. So joining forces with an all-star cast of whiskey luminaries includes Clay Risen, of course, of the New York Times, Colin Spillman, what is it, from Kings County? I know you've
I
talked to
think
me
it's
before.
Spielman.
Okay, thank you. Ralph Arenzo, Nicole Austin from George Dickel, Carlo DeVito, he's the author of The Spirit of Rye, Alan Katz, he's the founder of New York Distilling, Christopher Breyer, master distiller Copper Sea, Frank Tantillo, who's a farmer, Jason Barrett, founder of Black Button Distilling, Brian McKenzie, who we all know is my
Hey,
main man over at Finger Lakes Distilling, Brendan O'Rourke, head distiller for Hudson Whiskey, and Derek Schesselman, head distiller for Von Brunt. This documentary weaves together the expertise and passion of these whiskey connoisseurs, painting a vibrant portrait of Empire's profound impact. Sorry, Empire Rye's profound impact.
yeah, I saw this email and I was excited. I haven't had time to watch it yet. Have you?
I did not see, they gave us a special screener link. I had not seen it, but I did take the time to watch the trailer on YouTube. Very well done.
Yeah, the trailer looks sweet. And
Yeah, I hope I'm like hoping that this is gonna be better than neat. I mean, don't be wrong. Neat was good. It got a lot of people that are into bourbon really kind of looking at it. The only thing I didn't like about Neat is that like every 5 seconds there's some sort of cut to bourbon pouring out of a glass or a barrel rolling over or something like that, and it's like do we need that every 5 seconds to keep people captivated?
People like seeing that B-roll, man.
That's true.
They love that behind the scenes stuff. But yeah, this is awesome, especially for Brian McKenzie. Obviously, we're huge Finger Lakes fans, and one of our all-time most popular single barrels was a Empire Rye from Finger Lakes, episode 18. So we're obviously big fans of the category, and I love that it's highlighting that. It's something they can hang their hat on and be proud of, and showcase, whiskey enthusiasts that they got something special there in New York.
For sure. And if you want a primer before it comes out, you can actually go and check out episode 169 of Bourbon Pursuit, where we had a podcast called The Birth of Empire Rye, where we had pretty much everybody that I just mentioned on the show to talk about Empire Rye.
Pioneers. That's what we do.
We're ahead of the time. Granted,
That's,
our camera work isn't near as good as theirs, but we at
yeah,
least
we
got
don't have as much money.
But we at least got the right people together to have a discussion about it. Long
That's
time
right.
ago. All right, our last news article, and this is, I guess, makes you feel good being in the bourbon industry a little bit, is that research from Yale University suggests that drinking in moderation might be a lifesaver. Having one alcoholic drink a day may lower the risk of suffering a stress-related heart attack, and this is from a new study. So one glass a day for women or up to two for men has been found to suppress uh, amygdala. Thank you. I'm glad you're here. So amygdala, the region of the brain responsible for stress. The amygdala's response to triggers can fuel high levels of physiological stress, such as inflammation, which has been linked to cardiovascular disease. In a study of 50,000 people in the United States, 754 of whom had brain scans, and researchers at Yale University and Massachusetts General Hospital found that people who have one or two drinks a day had a lower risk of heart attacks. They also had suppressed what was it again? Amygdala. Thank you.
The lizard brain. That's the short, lizard brain.
Okay, cool. Amygdala activity. And that could reduce the risk of strokes or other cardiovascular events. And according to the study, this finding even held when the team accounted for other factors, such as socioeconomic status, such as age, health, and genetics. However, NHS guidelines advise both men and women to not drink more than 14 units of alcohol a week. A large glass of wine is around 3 units, and a pint of lager is around 2. Didn't say anything about bourbon, so I guess we're in the clear. The study also found that more than 14 drinks a week increases the risk of heart attack as well as diminishing cognitive ability, while any amount of alcohol increases the risk of cancer.
Well, it's like eggs. One day they're terrible for you. The next day it's life saving. I don't know. But
do you eat the yolk? Do you not eat the yolk?
Yeah, but both sides of these studies are like just there's so much to take into account for all this. Like it's hard to make claims one way or the other, and so people want to know what saves lives and they want to know what kills you, and it's like all the above. So it's just be smart, drink in moderation, eat healthy, exercise. I did read that like exercise 3 hours a week is it's more powerful than any drug in the market at like lowering cardiovascular disease, cancer, depression, all this. So get out there, run, pump up some blood, this and that. Who cares about these studies? Whatever.
I'll just start off with walking, just maybe walking uphill for a little bit, and that'll get me.
Walking's good, yeah. Walking counts.
And I'll take my 2.5 pound weights and kind of do my shimmy as I'm going.
Why am I getting medical advice? Cut me off. Get me out of here.
Let's go ahead and put a disclaimer on this that, by the way, Bourbon Pursuit does not offer legal or medical advice for anything.
Nope.
However, he will tell you about Roundup and all the side effects of that as well.
And coffee and lipstick and makeup and anything and everything you come in contact with every day. So good luck out there.
Stay safe, live in a bubble.
That's right.
All right. Well, take a quick break. We'll be back with some Bourbon Release news. All right, everybody. It's Bourbon Release news time, and it's starting to ramp up a little bit, but let's go ahead and let's dive into it. So Rabbit Hole is presenting a new release, and this is Derringer's Founders Collection Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey finished in PX sherry casks. This is a limited edition bourbon that calls on historic wood from Spain to create a unique expression of the brand's award-winning Derringer Kentucky Straight Bourbon whiskey finished in PX sherry casks. So, crafted by the Cabello family of the esteemed Casnolia cooperage in southern Spain, the historic casks that age Derringer Founders Collection are made from rare, 60-year-old wood that had been used to age a succession of PX sherry, brandy, and PX sherry in partnership with three of Spain's oldest and most revered producers. Derringer Founders Collection reimagines Rabbit Hole's award-winning Derringer Kentucky Straight Bourbon whiskey finished in PX sherry casks. Man, I swear, these names are too long. Through a more pronounced sherry profile. Comprised of 65% corn, 25% wheat, and 10% malted barley. This cask strength offering is 102.1 proof. A total of 2,444 sequentially numbered bottles will be released for sale at the Rabbit Hole Distillery and for purchase at select retailers for a suggested retail price of $295.
I've always been a fan of the Derringer. I've always liked that one, that expression.
That was
Always thought
actually
solid.
one of my favorites
Yeah.
when they first started a long time ago. I know we had very, very early on. I'm talking like when they first came out. When we tried a lot of stuff, it was kind of like, I don't know. But this one was by far their best expression. But their whiskeys have gotten incredibly better throughout the years.
Yeah. They're really hitting their stride now. They're at Rabbit Hole and stuff's starting to taste really good. So I'd be excited to try this one.
For
We
sure.
can get a sample from someone.
Yep. By the way, it was cask strength at 102.1.
I know. So it must be 100 entry proof, right?
I have no idea. But there you go. I kind of like that.
Kenny likes the 102 proof. All right.
I don't know. I'm getting on this sort of like don't get me wrong. I still like my 120s to 140s when they come, but man, for almost every day kind of drinking, I'm digging that 100 to 110 sweet spot. That's sort of
yeah.
where I'm at now.
It's where it's the most balanced for sure.
Yep. So Heaven Hill, they are announcing the launch of Square Six Wheated Bourbon. There's a lot of wheats today. That's the latest innovation of product to come from the Evan Williams Bourbon Experience. This is the third Square Six product exclusively that was created and produced at the Artisanal Distillery located at 528 West Main Street in Louisville, just steps away from the site of Williams' original distillery founded in 1783. The Square Six wheated bourbon is comprised of two distinct wheated bourbon mash bills, which were carefully blended post-aging. The first mash bill consists of 74% corn, 16% wheat, and 10% malted barley, and the second mash bill is 68% corn, 68% corn, 20% wheat, and 12% malted barley. Unlike its predecessors in the Square Six line, which were bottled at 95 proof, this has been bottled at 105 proof. The limited release of Square Six wheated bourbon will be available in small quantities as a unique offering at the Evan Williams Bourbon Experience and available at select Kentucky retailers for a suggested retail price of $90.
All right. I haven't had the original square cut, or not square cut,
Square
what?
Six.
Square Six. I
You
don't
thinking
know
of
why.
pizza? The
I
square
am
cut
thinking of
pizzas?
Pizza. Sorry, Heaven Hill. I don't mean to butcher. But
I like square cut pizzas. They're
well,
delicious.
yeah, I do too.
More crust, more filling.
Are they
I mean, I like
the jet, like
I
jet
like-
style?
I do, dude. I love Jets, so that's
Yeah.
I like that
Turbo
Detroit
crust.
style. Well, you get that, and I love like pepperoni cups when they just like kind of like form and get that little pool of grease in the middle.
It's like gosh, what's his name? And along came Paulie, and he's like pouring the grease off the pizza.
I mean, I love Along Came Polly. I need to go back and watch it again so I could get these
Philip
these
Seymour Hoffman,
references.
that's who it was. wasn't
Oh, Rain Man
he? Yeah. a
throwing
great
J's.
movie.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's exactly what Heaven Hill is wanting on this. But
I'm sure half our listeners are lost right now.
yeah, so exciting. Love to try this wheated bourbon. I don't. What is like the Larceny Old Fitz recipe? Or is it any of those or?
No,
Yeah.
so that's what they try to do is everything that is happening at the downtown distillery is all sort of like experimental one-offs. They're not doing the
okay.
same exact
Yeah. I see.
recipes down there.
I didn't know if they were blending with the original recipe. So okay, makes sense. I'm excited to try it.
And by the way, I also don't have the Larceny recipe available to me, so if somebody can go back and say, "Oh yeah, it is 7416 or 6820," then I'll be like, "Oh, okay, that makes sense." But
Brilliant. Okay.
brilliant. There we go. Moving on. So Buffalo Trace, they're thrilled to announce the launch of Daniel Weller, an experimental line exploring the impact of different strains of wheat on its storied bourbons inspired by and named after the trailblazer of the Weller family, Daniel Weller, who's grandfather to William LaRue Weller. So while William LaRue Weller's place in whiskey history is widely known as one of the first to sell a wheated bourbon in Kentucky, his grandfather's story has yet to be shared. So after fighting in the Revolutionary War, Daniel Weller embarked on a flatboat voyage down the Ohio River and with his wife and children, ultimately settling in Kentucky in 1794. Following in his father Johann Weller's footsteps, who distilled rye whiskey was used as currency in early America to barter for the economy, he soon began producing whiskey and leased his still to proprietors like Jacob Hirsch to supplement his income. However, when Daniel passed away in 1807, he left no will, requiring his son Samuel to purchase his stills and equipment to continue the family legacy, which he would ultimately pass down to his son William LaRue, founder of W.O. Weller and Sons. The Daniel Weller experimental line is inspired by Daniel and his pioneering spirit, with plans to release one limited expression every other year when each experiment is deemed ready for bottling, of course, by master distiller Harlan Wheatley. The inaugural release is made with emmer wheat, which is an ancient Egyptian grain that's rarely seen in modern day stills and mainly used to make beer and bread. Archaeologists have found evidence of emmer wheat domestication over 6,000 years ago, and its symbol is etched into Egyptian pyramids. It was distilled in the E.H. Taylor Jr. microstill, named after the father of modern bourbon history, which Harlan spent 2 years custom designing. However, this is aged for nearly 12 years, and Daniel Emmer wheat is bottled at 94 proof and has a suggested retail price of $500.
No comment.
I mean, yeah, people.
Another Beanie Baby to add to, you can add another color to your shelf.
Yeah, I think I like Kyle in the chats. He goes, 11-year, 94 proof Weller, $500. I hate it here.
Well, it's better than a 6-year orange label single barrel. That's like, I guess Buffalo Trace doesn't charge that, so whatever.
No, they don't, but they are charging $500 for this one, which, I mean, let's also look at this from a different perspective. Like, we look at this as the premiumization of American whiskey. Like, what is going to take it to the next realm? How do we compete with the Macallans of the world? And maybe this is it. Like, you've just got to have these one-off things that will never be like it again. And it's got, I mean, it's got double-digit age statement on it for a bourbon in today's market. It's, I don't say it's rare, but it's definitely not as common. And if you don't want to pay for it, then don't pay for it. I think that's the easiest thing. And yeah, sure, we can be mad about it, but I think the part that people don't like is, well, the green label should only cost like $19. So why is there a $500 one in the same line?
Yeah, I'm not mad about it. I just don't want it. I mean, that's,
Okay, there we go.
yeah,
Well, you ready to stir things up a little bit more?
let's do it.
Well, and that's because for Father's Day, by saying fire that to boring presents, well, that dad really doesn't want, maybe like, a grill, sets of socks, ties, or whatever, Fireball is setting those predictable options ablaze by offering something to make sure that Father's Day 2023 is one to remember, and introducing Fireball Dragon Reserve, the first ever limited edition bourbon barrel aged whiskey from Fireball. So Fireball Dragon Reserve has been resting in dragon charred barrels and for months in preparation for this moment of spicing up Dad's Day gifting and giving basic bourbon the boot. To help bring this historic product to market, actor, comedian, father, and professional dad joke maker Rob Riggle was crowned for the first honorary Fireball Master Distiller role. In his obviously highly coveted role, Rob helped shape the final result of Dragon Reserve through rigorous product testing and unwavering quality control. The result, according to Master Distiller Riggle, absolute fire. Speaking of the Father's Day holiday on June 18th, that's also how many bottles of Dragon Reserve will be available, 618 bottles. Fireball Dragon Reserve will be available in select states at dragonreserve.fireballwhiskey.com for $20, beginning at 11 a.m. Eastern on June 16th, and bottles will be sold on a first-come, first-served basis.
Is it April Fool's or National Bourbon Day?
Yeah, actually, I remember distillerytrail.com came out with, and they said, warning, this is not an April Fool's joke.
Gotcha. Well, no comment.
No comment again.
Yeah.
I mean, is it a marketing gimmick? Absolutely. Is it fun? Sure, it's fun as well. You got to remember, this is the engine that pulls the train for Sazerac is Fireball. So there's not going to be, there's going to be a huge shortage of these bottles that come out.
I mean, maybe you can grab your Blantons while you grab one of these in line too.
I think you
You
have a
think they'll
better
get
luck of
both?
getting, I actually think you better luck getting Blantons than you do of this.
That's probably true. I can't. This dragons. Was it Dragon Barrel?
It
What was it
was,
called?
it was in resting in dragon charred barrels. They're just
Oh,
basically,
I know. It's
but
it
it's
is.
called Fireball Dragon Reserve.
Yeah, it is funny. I guess.
It's a good story. That's why I like it. And I don't know if you saw any of the videos with Rob Riggle. By the way, he's a hilarious comedian. So just go and check it out, and you'll see exactly why I thought it was pretty hilarious too.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Okay,
Maybe. Probably
All
not.
well, there we go, you curmudgeon. That's the end of
That's
this
right.
week in bourbon.
That's it.
That's it, man. That's it.
Oh,
And
well.
so that's I
I
figured to
thought
end
the
it on a
rest of
high
the show was
note.
great. You know.
As soon as we start talking about Sazerac products, Ryan just starts looking away and starts losing focus.
That's. I'm excited for the weekend. So everybody have a great weekend. Hope you had a good National Bourbon Day. Had some bourbon, and yeah, we got some good stuff coming. And that's all I have to say about that.
Okay, there we go. A man of few words. I think you might only be like 85% recovered for Palooza at this point.
Yeah, I'm still on the struggle bus.
All right. Well,
I have waves where I feel like 100, and then it's like, bring it back, come back down. Depends on my caffeine level.
we got to get you back in and getting your espressos every morning.
That's right. Need more caffeine.
Well, like I
Well,
said, that's going to do it for this week in bourbon. And to echo Ryan's statement, hope everybody has a great weekend. And we'll be seeing you all soon. And make sure you pay attention to all the announcements that we do have. Let to be able to see you in the cities that we're traveling in and the events that we're going to be a part of as well. But with that, cheers, everybody. We'll see you next time.
toodles.